Spencer Ross with One Step Forward, and welcome to this week's video. Before I get started, I'm going to talk about my dad a little bit and what happened with all that. So if you are struggling with something, if a family member died or someone close to you died, maybe this isn't the video for you to watch at this time. Maybe take some time and maybe not watch it at all or watch it at a different time. But I am going to be talking about my dad a little bit. So, yeah, just want to give that warning because we're all at different places in life. All right, let's get started. Last week we talked about being in a rush to crush. So, we talked about how that is in relation to other people, not to be out there watching for a misstep, not to be out there not being patient with other people, looking to mentor, have those opportunities and take them. I was listening to a thing and someone talked about missed opportunities, and I thought that was a good way to explain it because there are ways that I explained it last week, but I think missed opportunities is just a 2-word simple phrase that you can use like, hey, am I missing this opportunity right now? Did I miss that opportunity? I did not think of this video when I was originally putting it out. So if this is your first video, the way I'm doing it is I'm trying to help people be better leaders, and I'm just taking a word, abilities, patience, critiques, and I took the words, don't be in a rush to crush, because there are times that we are quick to judge people and not listening to everything they're saying. Maybe we are judging them, hey, I don't like this person, or I don't like the way they look, so I am disregarding what they have to say. And what they have to say is valuable, but I am throwing that away because of perceived fallacy, failure on their part. Okay, so my dad died. That was hard. That was hard. And I had to think, am I going to keep making videos for a while? I took some time off for Christmas to spend time with family, and that was good. And then the week I was going to start doing videos again, my dad died on that Thursday. So I stopped. I just stopped all videos. And then I thought, okay, do I make a video explaining I'm going to take some time off? And I didn't think I could do that very well, so I just took some time off. And that's what I needed to do, okay? But it occurred to me, don't be in a rush to crush yourself. So I added that, and I took some time off. I think I took a month off, maybe a little bit longer, but it's okay, because I was not going to be in a rush to crush myself. My mom had died in 2013, and you normally have 2 parents, and so I had one die in 2013, and that was traumatic, and I had one die in January, and that was traumatic. But I learned from the first one. So on this one, with that experience, I was not in a rush to crush myself. I was talking to a family member, and they were asking me how I was doing. I said, no, I'm doing okay. I'm not jumping down people's throats. I'm still being patient with people. And they said, I knew you'd be patient with people. I was like, well, let's not assume that people are going to be perfect. Let's not assume, I didn't add this, let's not assume people are going to be bad, because we want to be better for ourselves and for other people. But let's not just assume that the leadership is going to be perfect, right? I need a mentor. Hopefully you believe that you need a mentor. Maybe you need counseling. Maybe you need therapy. Losing weight or other personal growth. All right. So if you are in a rush to crush yourself, is that appropriate? If you're trying to lose weight, are you losing a pound or two to make weight for a game? Let's say you're a power lifter and you're trying to lose 2 pounds. Okay, that is on a different scale than if you're trying to lose 50 pounds or 100 pounds, right? The time that you need to do it is different. What you're doing it for is not a bad thing. It can be a good thing. They're different, but you still have the same goal. Maybe you need to eat a little bit different. Maybe just for that couple days, if you're trying to lose 1 to 2 pounds to get to weight, all right, and that's different. But if you're trying to lose weight, or if you don't think that you're pretty enough, or you're cool enough, or you're funny enough, or other personal growth, you're trying to learn Spanish, or if you're trying to become a better leader, it takes time to develop that. You are going to have missteps along the way. You are going to have cheat days that last a week, and then you're going to get back on schedule. Okay? It's okay to stumble and then to get back on schedule. Does it mean it's okay every time? No, but we're going to cover that. But for something simple like losing weight or personal growth, yeah. Okay, so I took time off for my dad to die. Not for my dad to die, because my dad died. That's what I need to do. It's okay. People will make fun of you for the things that you need to do for mental health reasons. That doesn't make you weak. That doesn't mean you suck. Okay? You're doing what you need to know that you have learned through experiences or through mentorship or asking questions or watching YouTube videos or reading books that will protect yourself and make you a better person. That's okay. Okay? So if you're trying to lose weight, try things. Don't just reject things out of hand. Everyone has a different body type. Everyone has a different relationship with their father. During Christmas, Dad came down. I flew out to Texas to see my brother. My dad came down. I didn't know he was coming down. That was great to spend 2 days with him. I got to help build that relationship. When my mom died in 2013, I made the effort. I was living at home, but when I moved out, I made the effort, and it does take effort to keep building relationships, to call once a week. I wasn't perfect. I'd miss a week or two, and then I'd call. But it takes time. It takes effort. Sometimes you got to write it on the calendar if you're forgetting things. Okay? So personal growth, whatever that means for you, okay, take some time off. Take a break. It's good to take a break. Don't hammer yourself. I knew a kid, he was going for professional soccer and he was working out twice a day, 7 days a week. I told him, take a day off. He's like, no, I'm really trying to stress myself to get to this level. And he pulled a muscle, he pulled his hamstring. He was out for 6 months. I don't know if he ever started going back for professional soccer, but he did not want to take breaks. He did not want, I've never played professional soccer. So, right, who am I to give that advice? Well, I've still played. I still know the human body, and I still know that I need breaks. I need breaks, and professional athletes need breaks. If you're trying to become a professional athlete, wouldn't it make sense for you to take a break too? If you're trying to lose weight, everyone has a little different body type, but yeah, a lot of similarities are there. All right, so let's get into something a little bit more deep. Trying to start something or do something new or get promoted, new job. All right, trying to start something. So I've talked about this, Masters of Scale with Reid Hoffman. It's a podcast. I love listening to this one. It's encouraging. It teaches you stuff. And let's say you have a business idea. You go to get a loan. No. For whatever reason, whatever reason they give you or don't give you, they say no. Okay, so you go to another bank. You go to another bank. You go to another bank. You ask friends. Keep going. You aren't going to get yeses all the time. And that's okay. Learn from your no's. He talks about that. Reid Hoffman and the other people on the podcast talk about learning from your mistakes. Don't be in a rush to crush yourself. Learn from those mistakes. It's going to happen. It's going to happen to a normal person. Okay? It's going to happen to everyone. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to crush yourself so badly that you can't rise up again? We are going to talk about Will Smith today. Lots of people have been talking about it. So, as a leader, what are you going to respond to it? We're going to get to that later. But if you're trying to start something, all right, cool. Go start it. Go do something new. If you believe in yourself, there are going to be days that you're not. There's going to be days when you're losing weight and you're going to be discouraged. There's going to be days that you're going to ask 50 people for money and they're going to say no, or try to start something and they're going to say, oh, who are you to start a podcast? Who are you to start a YouTube video? You're the leader of your own life. You are responsible for your actions. To do something. All right, so I volunteer at the Suicide Prevention Hotline. There are times when the call does not go the way I was hoping, right? Everyone gets on there and you're going to make a difference. Well, sometimes the calls don't always flow in the way that they did in training, don't always work out the way you hope they do. The thing about the Suicide Prevention Hotline is there's always another call. Okay, so if I crushed myself so badly, if I did a bad phone call, would I take that another call? Somebody's calling for help or to get information. What am I going to do? Am I going to quit because I didn't do something perfectly? I could. I absolutely could quit. Okay, if I didn't adapt to what my mentors were saying, that I would not grow as a volunteer. What are you going to do? Are you going to crush yourself, quit? Are you going to crush yourself and not listen to the mentorship and the advice of the people who have done it before? Okay. Take the opportunities that come. Don't miss them. Yeah, it's different there. I volunteer for 4 hours. There's 6 people, about 6 people every hour volunteering or working on the phones. So there's lots of people who can help. There's mentors that I can ask questions on. If I make a mistake and I go back and say, hey, Bobby, this was going on in the phone call. I did this. What do you think? Did you think about this? That was a good point. I didn't think about that. Let me write that down. Let me take some notes. All right, and you work through it. It's okay. Don't crush yourself so bad that you quit. Maybe that's not the thing for you. Okay, but adjusting is not quitting. There's a difference. Get promoted, get a new job. Let's say you're taking a test. You didn't pass the test. All right, how can you adjust in your studying habits? How can you adjust in your preparation? Maybe you showed up late for a test. All right, sometimes the map thing, that map app online or whatever doesn't work right. Did you leave early enough? Did you go to bed early enough? You're gonna be nervous. That's okay. Sometimes you have test anxiety. All right, that's fair. Sometimes we all go through that, and sometimes some people don't. And I wish I was one of those people, but tests are hard for me. All right, so I need to study a little bit more. I need to be a little bit more prepared the day before so I can go to bed on time, and then I can leave at the appropriate time to get there early enough with accounting for traffic and signing in or something else. Flat tires you can't help, but there are things that you can do to prepare. Are we learning from those things? Are we adjusting? Trying to lead. All right, so on Albert Mohler, the briefing, March 14th, 2022. This is a little bit long, but please bear with me. I'm going to read, I printed it out and I'm going to read it. But finally, for today, we need to end on a matter of life and death, but this one is important for the cause of life. It has to do, oddly, ironically enough, with an obituary, the news of a death. In this case, the death of a pediatrician, a doctor by the name of Daniel Pinkel, who began in the 1960s to try to push back on leukemia, pediatric leukemia. Back when Dr. Pinkel began his pediatric practice seeking to help and heal children, pediatric leukemia had a death toll of about 94 to 96%. That means for every 100 kids who were diagnosed, 4 to 6 of them would live. I have 6 nieces and nephews. I can't imagine them not being in my life. They're crazy, they're nuts, but I love them to death, and I would miss them if they weren't around. And I would be sitting by their bed, and it would be horrible to watch them go through that. Back to the story. By the time his approach to treating leukemia had been developed over time, the death rate was not 96 but 4%. Now just think about this. His treatment of leukemia, it was one that he started controversially against the opposition of so many in his own profession. His approach not only changed that death rate, it was in the context. And this is something I had not known. It was in the context that when he began his medical practice in the 1950s, leukemia was the number one killer of children in the United States between the ages of 3 and 15. The number one killer. But he tamed that killer in the vast majority of cases. How? Well, back when he was beginning to try to push back on leukemia, medical doctors basically said you need to choose between one of the several different modes of treatment in order to preserve the basic health of the child in order that the child might fight the leukemia. Dr. Pinkel had a very different approach. His approach was that this is key. When you're trying to lead, this is how you need to think, or approach, or a mindset that you need to have. His approach that whatever they were doing at the present, which was allowing, not necessarily allowing, but out of 100 kids, 4 to 6 were living. His approach that whatever they were doing at the present clearly wasn't working. Let me read that again. Where is it? Leukemia was the number one killer of children in the United States between the ages of 3 and 15. Pediatric leukemia had a death toll of 94 to 96%, and when he was done, it was 4%. What are you going to do? Are you going to be that leader who says, oh, that's what everyone else is doing, that's what I'm going to do? Oh, everyone else over there is doing it, that's what I'm going to do. They've told me I can't make YouTube videos, so I'm not going to make YouTube videos. I'm not going to teach because I don't have a title, because I'm not the right color of skin, because I don't have the right gender, because I don't have whatever someone's making up. We talked about this last week. In the rush to crush other people, are you judging people based off something frivolous? Are you judging yourself this week based off something frivolous? You don't talk right? Cool. Come mentor me. I need a mentor. Yes, I am asking you to help mentor me. And then when you mentor me, go help mentor someone else. We need you. His approach was that whatever they were doing at the present clearly wasn't working. And he did it by science. He didn't go around punching people in the face. All right. My dad died. Okay, my mom died in 2013, and then my dad died in January. My brother called, he left a voicemail, and I called him back. He said, hey, what are you doing? I'm working on a thing. What's up? You have a moment? I'm like, sure. I'm sitting down at the kitchen table, and he said, Dad died. What'd you say? Dad died 2 hours ago. That was hard. That was hard. And that's okay for it to be hard. It is. It is okay. So after I got off the phone with my brother, I started to clear my schedule of everything. I cleared my schedule of all volunteer stuff. I called my boss that evening. I started calling other people that evening. I needed to call family. I needed to call some friends. A friend came over and I cleared everything that I didn't have to do off my schedule. Because I knew after what happened with my mom, I continued my same activities when my mom died. And that's okay. But looking back, it would have been better for me if I had taken some time. My dad died in Oklahoma. I couldn't go back there right away. It was on a Thursday. And so I cleared everything from my schedule. I did not. It's okay to stay in your house. I'm not saying that, but I work at a school. So I got lots of love, lots of support, but I did not stay home. And that's what worked for me. I still went out and got groceries. I still, it took me a little bit of time. I had set up a thing for friends in a couple of weeks and I didn't cancel that. But for the volunteer stuff, like the Suicide Prevention Center, I told them I was taking some time off and my boss called me and we talked a little bit. And then we talked back when I had my first night on. But my first night, it's a 4-hour volunteer shift. My first night was 2 hours. And I said, hey, I'm just going to work for 2 hours. My second night was 3 hours. And then my third night was 4 hours. And that's what I knew I needed to do because I had already been through something. That doesn't mean I did it wrong the first time. It's just I had been through it once and I knew myself and I need to work myself back into my schedule. There is a part of me and a part of some of us that we just throw ourselves into everything. All that can be healthy and that can be unhealthy. You need to choose for you what works for you. All right, let's go on the hard stuff, okay? Will Smith's thing happened last week or whatever, and I don't watch the Oscars, but my friend told me about it. I watched the video. All right, so a lot of people are talking about it. Cool. As a leader, you need to address it. You need to address current events. You need to address the stuff that's going on at work. You need to mentor people about it. People are curious. What do you have to say? If you're a politician, they're going to ask you, what's your opinion on this? So a lot of people have talked about it. Here's my take. If you do something wrong, now what? If you're thinking about, let's think about it. You're in a rush to crush yourself. Okay? You've already done it. It's done. The decision you've made is done. Now what? That's what it means to be in a rush to crush yourself. Sorry this video is a little long, but it was the one about my dad, so I knew it was going to take a little bit of time. The action is done. If you're trying to lose weight, the cheat day you had, it's over. You've already done it. Okay? If you've already blown your diet, then you've already done it. Are you going to keep doing it? Are you going to keep blowing your diet? Could Will Smith have just slapped him and punched him and done a bunch of stuff? Yes. Okay, you've done it. It's done. The action is done. Personal growth. You've already missed your Spanish class. Trying to start something. You've already not started something. Suicide prevention. You've already put the phone down. All right, that phone call was horrible. Now what? Now what are you going to do? You tried to get promoted. You didn't get promoted. You took that test. You failed it. You stayed up drinking too late. Whatever. Trying to lead. You tried to cure leukemia. It didn't work. You going to try another thing? We can do the quote from Edison. I now know, 100 different ways it doesn't work? Are you going to give up? Are you going to crush yourself so bad you're going to give up? I thought Will Smith's apology was really nice and appropriate. Again, you don't owe an apology to everyone. Context, right? Will Smith's action was a little bit different than maybe yours. Okay, so context. What if you're cheating on your wife? My friend's going through a divorce and she's struggling. And that's okay. That's normal. She's handling it pretty well for what she's going through. And she made a comment. I was like, wait a minute. No. He didn't sleep with the girl once and stop and say, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have slept with you. I have a wife and go back to you. He did it multiple times and then did other things multiple times and then tried to cover it up and then he kept doing stuff multiple times. What are you going to do? Now apply that to your life. Okay, you're not cheating. What are you doing? What aren't you doing? What's holding you back from leading? Do you know if someone's getting abused at work? Maybe the bully's at work. Maybe it's not a spouse. Cool. Awesome. Maybe it's not a spouse. Good. I have a family friend going through stuff. We all have stories, personal stories, stories of people we know, whatever. One of my favorite quotes, Theodore Roosevelt: "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man or woman who is actually in the arena, who's actually trying, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who made a mistake." Will Smith made a mistake. You made a mistake trying to lose weight, personal growth, trying to start something, trying to lead. You tried it and it didn't work. You tried to mentor the guy and they didn't listen. They did it again, or you yelled at him. And not saying that yelling is wrong, but you lost your temper. That's what I'm trying to say. Who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. Who does... Think about my dad. Who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms and great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with the cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Who are you going to be? Who are you going to be? Are you going to be the one who quits? Who does a mistake and keeps doing it? Take that leap. Take that step forward. If you're doing the wrong thing, if you're walking on the wrong path, stop. Turn to the left, turn to the right, turn 90 degrees to the left, turn 90 degrees to the right, do an about face, whatever you need to do, you can do it. Do not stand there and blame someone else. There are other things involved. Yes, I understand that. You are responsible for your actions. You can do it. Don't crush yourself so much that you keep doing it. Don't crush yourself so much that you stay in that hole, that those dark thoughts come. If you need to call the Suicide Prevention Center and get some counseling, if you need to see a therapist or a pastor or a priest or an imam or your neighbor, your mom or dad, your brother and sister, whoever, go do that. You are amazing. I made a video about that. You are amazing. Now what? A friend of mine called Montano said, so what? Who, what, when, where, why? So what? All right, all this is done. You've watched the video. You heard my voice crack a little bit because I'm thinking about my dad. So what? Am I going to keep improving? I want to. I'm going to. Because I'm going to make the choice not to crush myself so much that I don't keep going. Whatever I've done, are you going to do the same? It's your choice. You can do it. You are amazing. Why? Why are you amazing? Because of all the good stuff you've done before. You can't tell me you've messed up every day of your life. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to think about it. Sometimes it's hard to remember the good things you've done. And if you haven't done good things, go do good things. Maybe it's as simple as picking up the trash in the bathroom at church. Maybe that's your good deed for the day. Probably no one's going to thank you. But are we doing this for a thank you? Or are we doing this to make the world around us a better place? To mentor people to be better. I need a mentor. My friends need mentorship. Can you mentor them? Can you mentor yourself? It's hard to mentor yourself. So go ask for help. Go take that one step forward. Go call someone that you need to call. It's okay to rebuild that relationship. And it's okay to walk away from a toxic one. As you go in this week, what do you need to work on to not crush yourself, to move forward? in whatever you're trying to overcome. Spencer Ross with One Step Forward. And please don't forget, you can do it.